Hello you guys, and welcome back to a new video on my channel. My name's Zoe, I'm 24 and I live in the New York City area, and I'm just trying to figure out my life in my 20s. So if that sounds appealing to you, then make sure to like and subscribe. Happy New Year, you guys! I can't believe it is officially 2025. I'm a little bit late on getting prepared for 2025, but better late than never is what I always say. And today I'm going to be taking you through every single step to make 2025 the year that you meet all of your goals, that you set goals that really are going to help you achieve your dream life. And I'm going to take you through every single step. We're going to be using a lot of ChatGPT and AI. I'm going to be giving you guys some prompts that you can use to help to visualize your life in your future. And also, you know, we're working smarter, not harder this year, and I really think that getting used to using tools such as ChatGPT and AI is super important in this day and age. So I want to make sure that I am helping you guys do that in every way that I can. With that, we are going to just hop right into this. Just a little reminder, if you're using ChatGPT or AI or anything like that, to make sure you check your privacy settings, make sure you're not sharing any information that you don't want to be sharing. You want to keep all of your information secure, obviously. And also remember that ChatGPT can only spit out so much, it's only so creative, so you might need to go back and forth with it a little bit to get to the point where you are happy with the response that it gives you. So with that in mind, we're going to start right in with some reflection questions for the previous year. I'm going to put these prompts on the screen right now, and you can go ahead and type out a little bit of a reflection based on these. So the first one is, if I could perfect any area of my life right now, what would it be? It is the first day of 2026. What achievement from 2025 are you most proud of? Okay, next one. You just got handed $100,000. What are you going to do with it? Next, explain your current weekly priorities right now at the end of 2024 / the first week of 2025. And finally, what weekly priorities would you want to have at the end of 2025? So once you've written all of these out in a Word doc or maybe a Notion spreadsheet or something like that, then you can go ahead and paste them into ChatGPT, and then at the end of that, you can go ahead and write the following prompt. Based on the answers to the question above, outline what a perfect day would look like in my life at the end of 2025. If you're using Notion and you have the free version of Notion AI, then you can also just do it right in Notion, which is how I like to do it. However, I've used up all of my AI responses in Notion, so I've gone back to ChatGPT. So I'll just run through a couple of my answers and highlights of some of these questions. I'm not going to go super in depth. I mean, you can see them on the screen if you're curious, but for the first question, if I could perfect any area in my life right now, I definitely want to be better about posting on social media. I want to spend quality time with friends and family, and I want to train for a triathlon. It's the first day of 2026. What achievement in 2025 are you most proud of? And again, this kind of goes back to the social media because that is a really, really big priority of mine in 2025. So I just wrote out a few little ideal situation, which would be like having X number of subscribers and being able to make X money off of it and just enjoying doing the social media. I also said that I was really proud that I did a half marathon, that I did some triathlons, because those are also very important to me this year. I just got $100,000. How am I going to spend it? I would want to take some trips to England to see my family there, donate a good chunk of it to a good cause, and save up for a deposit on like a house or, you know, other big life events that will be coming in my future. My current weekly priorities at the end of 2024, I just kind of went through. I work a 9 to 5 every day. I focus on my health and wellness. I like to cook meals for myself. I completed a sprint triathlon. I do my ballet classes, you know, the general gist of things that I do on a day-to-day basis. And then finally, what weekly priorities do I want to have at the end of 2025? I want to be in a good habit of uploading regularly on my content platforms. I also would like to be better about reaching out to some of my long distance friends who I don't see as often. And I'm also just trying to figure out what role I want to work and settling into hopefully a new role by the end of this year. So with that, it outlined a perfect day for me, which apparently starts at 6:30 and goes till about 10 p.m. And it looks like a very jam-packed day that didn't necessarily take into account the fact that I work a 9 to 5, but it does sound like a very good day. Some of the things that it would focus on is doing the content creation, going to work, having a lunch break where I reach out to a friend or family member, having some social media engagement, working on some personal projects that further my skills in my professional career, and then just having time for friends and family, as well as just winding down in the evening. And it also has out at the end a time for reflection and planning, which I think is very important for me and my own mental well-being. Okay, so you've got part one, you've done a little visualization, you've seen what your ideal day might look like. If the answer that ChatGPT or the AI spat out to you doesn't look like something that you want, then you may want to go back and kind of adjust some of those goals. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to create a life that is your day-to-day life. Like, it can be really easy to dream up this big goal, but you really need to think about how it's going to affect you on a day-to-day. And if that's not something that you want, then that's not what you should be aiming for. But if that was successful and you see that type of day and you're like, yes, that's a day that I want, then it's time to create some SMART goals based off of that. Having SMART goals is very important. So SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Dr. Gail Matthews at Dominican University wrote that people who write down their goals are 42% more likely to achieve them. So make sure that you are taking some pieces of paper and you are noting all of these down. So first off, take some time to think about your current daily schedule. Write out what a typical week or a typical day in your life looks like right now, and really try to be very specific about when you have appointments. Maybe for me, it's I have a pretty long commute to work, so I work my 9 to 5, but I have to leave an hour before because that's how long my commute is, and then it takes me forever to get home. So those are the kinds of things that I need to put in there. I put in that I do my ballet class once a week and the time that that's at. Put in any free time that you usually have, the time that you usually wake up, the time that you want to go to bed, all of that kind of stuff. So now we're going to paste that again into ChatGPT, and we're going to use the following prompt to create some SMART goals. So we're going to say, looking at the gap between your current week now, or your current day now, and your perfect day in 2025, create some SMART goals that I can focus on over the course of the next year to become the future self that I want to be. And hopefully ChatGPT will spit out a whole bunch of SMART goals for you based off of the gap between what your day in 2025 would look like and your day currently looks like. I also went ahead and pushed this a little bit even further and asked it to create some action steps for me. So this really created a little bit more of a breakdown of goals that I could set for myself. So the goals that it came up with include content creation goals, increasing engagement and posting frequently on social media. So for specific, it's post consistently on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, focusing on my fitness journey, content creation, and personal growth. Measurable, increase the number of followers and subscribers, track that kind of engagement. Achievable, so post 5 times per week on TikTok and Instagram and 4 times per month on YouTube. Relevant, achieving social media goals aligns with your future self and your aspiration to make money from content, so that's how it pertains to me. And finally, time-bound, to achieve these milestones by December 31st, 2025. So it gave me a whole bunch of these. I got some for triathlon training, for getting work-life balance and relationships, some career growth, all of that stuff. So like I said, it's very, very important that you write these things down, and I personally feel like having ChatGPT spit it out doesn't necessarily give me that same feeling. So I took all of these and I broke them down even more into what I realistically think that I would be able to achieve this year, and I just made a straight little checklist for the entire year. So you can see my goal breakdown right now on the screen. And I've taken the SMART framework and the way that ChatGPT broke down my goals for me, but I just wrote them in words that make sense to me. LOL, not the TV going to an ad. Okay. I just wrote them down in a way that makes sense to me, that makes sense to my brain, and that I feel like I'm going to be held responsible for doing these. Okay, cool. So we've got a whole bunch of big, lofty goals that I want to achieve at some point in the year. And now we're going to go backwards again a little bit, and we're going to turn these into daily habits or weekly habits that we know will actually lead us to actually achieving these goals. Research shows that breaking down your aspirations into smaller, more manageable steps makes you 76 more likely to achieve them. I like those odds. James Clear, who wrote the book Atomic Habits, also claims that goals are not going to actually lead you to success. Systems are so much more useful. You may be asking, okay, like why did we go through the process of defining these SMART goals if those aren't even the way to get to success? And to that I say, well, you need to know what you're aiming for in order to break it down into smaller pieces. TLDR though, everything comes down to the things that you do on a daily, regular basis. I would recommend his book if you are curious about more about his framework. So we're gonna go back to our good old ChatGPT and we're gonna say, based on the list of SMART goals here, define daily or weekly habits that I should commit to in order to achieve them. Now it's probably gonna spit out a pretty long list of options for you, and something very important to remember is that the key to successful habits is starting small. Gradually build up, prioritize what your goals are for the year, and then slowly implement those. Maybe every month, maybe you implement a new goal, or every couple of weeks you try to bring in something different. Another thing that you can do is habit stacking, where like let's say that you really want to start taking some vitamins in the morning and you want to start to learn Spanish by using Duolingo. So maybe already you go in the cupboard and you make yourself a breakfast every day, you make yourself some cereal. So what you would want to do is every time that you already do that habit is you implement one of those other habits along with it. So by putting them together, you're much more likely to complete them both because you've already got one habit there, and so adding another one on top of that is a lot easier. Okay, let's move on to the final piece of this puzzle, which is accountability. Research from the American Society of Training and Development shows that having an accountability partner actually increases your chances of succeeding by up to 95%. So having somebody hold you accountable for these goals that you have set makes you so much more likely to achieve them. Personally, I like to use a combination of tools. I have a habit tracker in my bullet journal. I also have a habit tracker in Notion. I'm very fueled by seeing all of the different statistics, so it's fun for me to go back and look at that and see how far I've come. Telling a friend also is obviously going to be a good one. I always tell my friends and family about my goals and try to make sure that they hold me accountable. And that doesn't necessarily even mean that you have to be like outright like, oh, like this is what I'm gonna do. Maybe your goal for the year is you want to work out more. So what you can do is you can post on Strava or something like that, and you can post workout one of X of the week, and then you're going to be more motivated to do more of those workouts this week because you said in that one that this was like one of 5. So if you want to do 5 workouts, you need to make sure you get to that 5 number, and other people are going to know if you don't. So that's just one example. I also just think posting on social media is fun because you guys can hold me accountable for my goals. That being said, I do think one of the most important things with setting goals and New Year's resolutions in general is that it's so important to be flexible. Throughout the year, your priorities may shift, your things that are going on in your life may shift, and you may have brand new goals that you couldn't have even imagined right now. Make sure to take the time to iterate on the goals that you have throughout the year so that you know that you are getting the best you that you are aiming for. As a little bonus to this, I'm going to go ahead and set up my bullet journal for the year, and I'm going to talk you guys through some of my thoughts on my resolutions for the year. So here is my goal breakdown that I have come up with for the year, and I'm going to take these and turn them into daily habits as well. So in terms of content creation, I want to post 5 times per week on TikTok and Instagram, which is kind of a lot, but on average that's what I want to do. Post 4 times a month on YouTube, do weekly check-ins to make sure my content is aligning with my content pillars and my values, and I also want to track my monthly statistics. So you can already see in that I have it broken down by a daily habit, more of a weekly habit, and a monthly habit. So for fitness and triathlon training, I really want to do some more triathlons this year. It was so much fun doing one this past year, so I want to incorporate working out 4 to 6 times per week, which is basically what I already do. I want to sign up potentially for a half Ironman race. I thought I wanted to do one this year, but I think it might just not work out with my summer schedule, so I want to at least sign up for one though. I want to, however, do 2 triathlons at least. I think I really want to try to do a couple of Olympic distance ones just to like up the distance a little bit more. I also want to do a half marathon. I am currently training for a half marathon. If you're curious, you can go watch my TikTok series on it. I continue to take my ballet classes because I love those more than anything in the world, and I would do that all day, every day. In terms of work-life balance and relationships, I want to have 1 planned date night per month with Will. I want to call some of my long distance friends at least once a month, and text some of my other long distance friends that I'm maybe not quite as close with at least once a month as well. I also want to call or message my grandparents a little bit more frequently than I do, so a few times a month. I also want to attend a young Catholic social event at the church that I've been going to. I think that would be a lot of fun. And I am also toying with the idea of singing at mass. I'm not a good singer, but like I can carry a tune and I enjoy it, so I'm like, maybe I should go. They keep asking for people to do it, and I used to do it whenever I was younger, so I'm like, it's an idea. Next, for career growth and continuous learning, I want to attend a networking event each quarter. I am feeling so lost in what I want to do with my life, and I really just think that talking through opportunities and other things will help me. I want to do 1 hour per week dedicated to like networking or career research, or just like developing a new skill that I think will help me in my career. I also want to start a personal project. I want to continue to practice Spanish every single day, so that's just doing Duolingo. I would love to do a little bit more than that, but I just don't think I have time at the minute. I want to read 20 books this year. I fell off drastically this past year. I wanted to read 25 and I only read 15, but I think I can do 20 because I've already read 2 this year, so that's a good sign. In terms of financial goals, I want to max out my Roth IRA. I want to use my sinking funds regularly. I already kind of do this, but I figured I'd write it down anyway. And another one of mine is just to keep my spending like constant. I don't want to see my spending go up, and I'm really trying to avoid lifestyle creep as much as possible right now, because I just think that that'll be better for me in the future, because I already feel like I have a lot of lifestyle creep as it is. As somebody who only graduated from college like a year ago, my lifestyle has gone whoop, and I need to just like, I don't want to go any higher. I want to make sure I'm continuing to budget on a regular basis, and if you're curious about that, I do have a video all about budgeting, and I have a budget template that you can buy. It's like $5 on Etsy, and it's really helpful for me. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, then make sure to let me know some of your priorities for the year below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!